Even though it's December, my pepper plants are still producing quite heavily. I am going to eventually overwinter them if it does get cold enough here because pepper plants are perennials. However, there are some new varieties that I want to start for next year, and I am actually going to be starting the seeds for them this month.
You never want to start your seeds too early, but one exception to the rule for me is peppers because, as I mentioned, pepper plants can be perennials if you prune and care for them properly over the winter. So, if you're successful with that, then ideally you won't need to start pepper seeds each year unless you did have some fatalities or you wanted to try growing a new variety. And typically, the hotter the pepper, the longer it takes to grow, which does seem to be the case in my experience. So, if you like a high heat level in your peppers, you'll want those varieties to have enough time to grow. Plus, some pepper seeds may take 10 or more days just to germinate. And while most pepper plants won't be producing until the summertime, you still want to have a good head start on them. In previous years, I started my pepper seeds right alongside my tomatoes in March, but I always found that my peppers never showed up until the end of September, even October, which is kind of a drag when you want to make some fresh garden salsa with your homegrown tomatoes and peppers. And for most people, October is when things start to really slow down in the garden. Here in California, my summer garden can go well into the fall and even winter, but typically things from a summer garden are going to slow down as the weather cools down. So if your pepper plants are just getting started with production right before they wind down, your pepper season ends up being pretty short. This isn't to say that if you start your pepper seeds in March or anytime in the spring that you won't have peppers in the summer. Of course, what varieties you grow can play a role in how fast you get peppers, but I also think it doesn't hurt to try. If you live in a colder climate and wanted to try starting pepper seeds earlier, I'd wait until the end of December just to time it out a bit more if you don't want larger plants hanging around when you might still have some frosty days. For me, I use my automatic hydroponic systems to start my pepper seeds because I don't have to worry about watering them, I don't have to worry about the lights, I can kind of just leave them be and refill the water reservoir as needed, so it's actually very low maintenance for me, and I just let them bust out of their hydroponic systems. And by the time they are large enough to be removed, things around here start to warm up so I can pot them up and move them to my garage with a heating pad and grow lights and move them outside shortly after. I am a big fan of garden experiments, and in the case of starting pepper seeds in December, it was a successful experiment, so I am glad that I tried it. So if you've noticed your pepper plants take a while to produce, give it a try and see if you end up getting peppers earlier.